Okay. Hello. Welcome, LORT viewers. Welcome to Ladies of the Round Table Live. Happy Friday night. Obviously, the ladies of Dior did an awesome job kicking ass, and I got to play with a troll like a cat toy for a little bit. And of course, welcome, Danny Trejo. I'm so glad you're here. Okay. So I have with me tonight, as we all know, Miss Srivasta's in the house.
Hello, hello.
We got Miss Nikki in the house.
Hey.
And the glitter farting pixie is in the house. And today,
Give us a
today we
pixie
have
fart.
the pixie fart command, which is now readily available. And of course, we have a special guest with us who's actually going to join us as a hostess on the eSports show for LORT. That is Miss Hollyanne Satola. Please welcome the lovely Miss Hollyanne.
Yay.
Very excited she's here.
Welcome,
Alrighty.
welcome.
So for those of you who don't know, Hollyanne is a fabulous pro gamer and all-around just lovely geeky lady. And we're going to kind of probe your brain a little bit, madam. But I'm going to let you kind of introduce yourself first. What would you like to let the LORT viewers know about yourself?
Oh, goodness. Well, I love gaming, and I'm all about gamers being equal. And I hate everything girl gamer. I'm all about I'm a gamer, and I love gaming. And I think the biggest thing for me is lately I've just really been trying to branch out as a gamer instead of just playing one game. I've been really stretching myself to play different games, indie games. We just bought a PS4, which was like shock of the world. So yeah, that's pretty much my motto. Just keep gaming and try new things.
All right, so I'm going to let everyone kind of probe your brain a little bit here. I'm going to start with Pixie. You have a question for Miss Hollyanne?
You'll have to come back to me.
Okay.
I like to have really thought-provoking questions.
All right, I totally put her on the spot. So, Ms. Srivasta, do you have a question for the lovely Hollyanne?
I do. Holly, thank you for coming, and we're very excited to have you. And we are appreciative of your skills and your talents. That being said, I know you're trying to branch out into other things, but could you give us a little bit of background on your professional esports career?
Yeah, I started gaming overall at age 7. My dad bought me a Super Nintendo, and I just started going ham on that. I'm all about Donkey Kong Country. That was like my life. Yoshi's Island, Pitfall, Aladdin. I pretty much played it all, still play it, love it. And then I met a boy who stole my heart, and we were talking on the phone one night, and I heard gunshots, like legit gunshots. And he was playing CounterStrike. And I figured, well, if I want into this guy's heart, I better start playing. So my mom took me to the mall since I was 12 and bought me CounterStrike. And I started playing. And a week after I started playing, I was in leagues. And at that time, there was Cal. So there was OGL, which was like terror bads. And then there was Calo. And then IM. And I was Cal IM my first week with a great team that took me on kind of like a little sister and just really like showed me the ropes of the game. They were called Clan Star RK, and they just really like kind of showed me the ropes. And then I just started branching out, playing with different teams from there. And then I'd say my favorite thing about Counter-Strike was that was 1.6, but then in Counter-Strike Source, I ran my own LAN team, and we traveled around playing different LANs in California, played a couple LANs on the East Coast as well. And that's what I really love, because a lot of the internet drama, all of that ends at LAN because no one wants to say anything in person. So it's really just all about the gameplay. And I love the energy of everyone behind me watching me. I love it. It just like, it drives me. So that's really where it all began.
That's awesome. That's very awesome. Nikki, you got anything? Oh, wait, go ahead.
That guy that stole my heart at 12 years old is my husband now. So
awesome.
Yay.
So who's the better gamer?
Me. He'll say it's him.
Of course.
But I will say on the PS4, right now I'm addicted to Rayman Legends, like addicted. And Ubisoft had actually sent me the game a few months ago. I had a deal with Ubisoft, and they send me games before they're released, and I'll write some stuff for them. They sent it to me, but I didn't have a PS4, so I passed it off to a friend. And I'm just like in love with the game, like in love with it. But we also have Ghosts, COD I can't even walk. I can't even walk on the console. I cannot move.
Yeah, see, that's me with the console.
Like, it's so bad. I feel like such a nub. I'm like, oh my gosh, hand me a keyboard and a mouse.
Right.
So I just sit there and watch him.
Now, I thought the premise
That's
behind the
my life.
PS4 was you were supposed to be able to use a keyboard and mouse at some point.
Hey, I'd be down for that.
I'm pretty sure you can. I did it for Dust, so I'm pretty sure you can do it for COD. I would give that.
I need to look into
Bluetooth,
that.
Bluetooth keyboard and mouse, because we have one and my kids have done it and it's in our basement. So they're all the big first-person shooter gamers.
Because COD Ghosts on the PC was a total letdown. Like, it looks terrible. So it's a beautiful game. I mean, I will say the PS4 looks incredible. Yes. So we're waiting for Diablo 3 to come out because I love Diablo and we're stoked to play it together on the PS4. So it comes out August, I think 13th or 18th, something with a number that looks like a 3 or an 8. But I'm excited.
So let me ask one quick question, a follow-up. What made you decide to get the PS4 versus the Xbox One?
To be honest, my husband, literally, we were sitting down and I'm on Wi-Fi right now at the extended stay. There's no internet here. We don't have our PCs. And he's like, let's get a PS4. And I'm like, really? I don't want a PS4. But I just kind of went with what he said. The one thing it wasn't my call, but the one thing I'm not really digging is there's not a lot of games. And I know there's a lot of games coming, but like, I feel like the Xbox has a lot more options right now. So I was kind of bummed as far as that goes. But
doesn't it just have Legends, does the Xbox really have a lot more options?
I feel like it does. I mean, the PS4 only has like 8, it's like 3 rows of games, and a lot of them are sport games.
It's the same.
I'm not hating on sport game players, but I'm not into it.
So, I look at the games every day. The big games are the same on both, right? The only game missing from the PS4 is Titanfall, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Which is not a bit. I mean, some people go, but
then Xbox doesn't get Metal Gear Solid. So I mean,
well,
and of course,
that could
it's
be
a very big give and take.
We did have an Xbox back in the day, and we had it for a week and sold it on Craigslist because we just hated it. But that's just because we're PC gamers at heart. I mean, we've been PC gaming for me 12 years and him longer than that. So it's hard to move over to console.
Right.
I'm definitely not moving. I'm doing both.
I agree with you. My kids, they took over. The minute I built my gaming PC, both of my boys, they took over, and now I've got Battlefield and Call of Duty and you name it. It's like I have to fight them on the weekends for my computer when they're not in school. It's nuts.
Well, let's, if you guys don't mind, we're going to check in with chat a little bit. Just kind of see who's in here. Obviously, Miss Hollyanne is in there. She's very popular. All of us are in there. We got Rainbow Pies. We got Ayatane. Big Fish Clams. Broom Fondle is here. Dakota Fanning 420. Danny B. Danny Trejo, my absolute favorite. Fatty Balladdy. Fakupog. Fuzzle Tough. We got Narcandy. We got Jerry Crunch. We got KRE Jelly. We got Mail Spy. MMO Buff. What's up? Rainbow Pies. I said that. The Real Femme still hanging out. T-Waz. Torador. Triby, not Fedora. Vaela. Visions. Wolfie. And I'm just gonna keep fucking up your names, but we're happy you're all here and wonderful. And yes, for those asking, I wear gaming glasses all the time because my eyes are gonna fall out of my head because I'm always looking at the computer screen. So just so you know. Okay, so what we're gonna talk about, Holly, we're gonna have you kind of hang with us on this. We got some hot topics we're gonna talk about tonight. One of our contributors, that would be Nathaniel Lyles, who's been around the block, was talking about difficulty being a selling point in games, and he was pretty secure in himself to say, I would like a very easy mode and just get through a story. So I'm curious, I'll start with you, Hollyanne. Do you feel that there's a place for kind of muddling through campaigns, and then there's also a place for, it's impossible to do this game? I mean, how do you feel about those kind of aspects?
I think there's a place for it. I mean, I think it really depends on the gamer. I don't think that every gamer plays games for the story, and I don't think that's something to dog on the gamer for. I just think that it's, differences. For me personally, I started running and gunning at a young age. I can appreciate the stories, but it really depends on the game for me. You know, like Diablo 3, I watched the story, but like, you know, a shooting game, I'm probably not going to play campaign and just go straight to online. But I think there's a place for it for sure.
Oh, cool. I mean, I agree. I think it's, you know, it's kind of level-handed. I feel like, and it has, it's interesting. He's just really talking about how you become an increased selling point, that whole difficulty. But that takes me back to like Ninja Gaiden when you just wanted to bash your face into the TV because I just couldn't get through it. So, Pixars, how about you?
I definitely think that there is a place for it. I feel like for some people it's not necessarily about the difficulty, it's about the amount of time it's going to take to beat the game. And I mean, not all gamers sit and do nothing but game all day or stream. And so there's definitely a place for, you know, that easy mode for the casual gamer who wants to come home and relax after they've been at work and play a video game and just kind of chill out and not have to, you know, throw their controller across the room multiple times.
Or just go into a fetal position and cry.
Yeah, yeah. We've all been there.
You know what I just thought of, which I totally should have said and forgot?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think, too, for PC gaming, it's really hard for storylines because a lot of the times the games are made for console. So, for example, Resident Evil came out, and Narcandy and I were playing through that together, and it was almost impossible on PC. Like, it was straight button mashing the whole time, and it was so difficult. Like, the level of difficulty was unreal. I mean, most of the time it was out of ammo. So we were just running around hitting people with knives. I mean, it was pretty... So I feel like a lot of the times the games aren't optimized the best for the PC, which can tend to make the campaigns really difficult if you're a PC gamer.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Shrivasta, I don't know. I know she's a physical person, and I feel like she may have gotten frustrated. So I'm curious as to her thoughts on difficulty and game difficulty.
My thoughts, I'm in the same camp as Holly. Because I am mainly a PC gamer, I only go to console when I'm forced to or when I have to play with my kids. And you know me with the controller, it's foreign object. So easy mode to me is, again, we'll talk about WildStar. WildStar, they're being criticized because their dungeons are too hard. I can't face roll it. Well, you know, I think there should be some challenge in the game, especially if you're going to raid. So yeah, I don't want the easy mode. But if I'm playing the console, I'd like to have the option, especially if I'm playing like something that is a shooter with my kid who's very, very good at it, and I'm on the floor 96% of the time. So why can't it be on easy so I can at least get a couple hits in, right?
It'd be great if you could do it like per player. Like I'm the dirt player, so if all the enemies could go to my friend, that'd be totally tits. Yeah, that'd be great. I was saying the other day, she's playing me and she's shooting me. I said, "Give me a melee weapon. I'll just bash her over the head." But she didn't even know what that was. She's just like, "You need a sniper rifle or a pistol?" I'm like, "All right, we're turning it off. It's not fun anymore." Nikki, how are you on your difficulty settings?
Well, it's amazing to see this come up time and time again over the past 20 years I've been gaming, right?
Indeed.
It's one of those things that I look at it this way. If you're going to be doing first-person shooters and doing it multiplayer, the difficulty level is who you're playing it against, right?
Yes.
So if you suck, you're going to get out of the game. You're going to go and find a game where you could actually be good in, which doesn't happen all the time. But when you're talking about these games like Mass Effect and Watch Dogs and all these, you know, single player walkthroughs, and I'm even going to go to strategy games like Sid Meier's Civilization.
Yeah.
If it's easy, I don't want to play it. I want it to be challenging because I don't want to get through it and be bored with it. If I'm going to spend $60 fucking on a game, I want it to be challenging.
Amen. Skippy.
You know what I mean? It's like if I want the easy stuff, I'll go pick on some little noobs in a multiplayer game and roll over them. You know, it's one of these things where difficulty is a selling point for me, which is why I love Star Citizen, why I play that stupid fucking game World of Tanks. You know, it's like there are hard things about the things that I choose to play because I like the difficulty. So when I succeed, I have that feeling of accomplishment. But I understand the other way. Kind of like a Mass Effect where you go into storyline mode. I understand that. There's some people that just want that. Yeah. So for me, if the developers keep making the games like that, difficult for me and building different content for me to see when they make it difficult, not just throw more mobs at me with bigger guns, I'm happy, right? So I think that this is one of these things that 20 years from now, we're going to be talking about again. So yeah, I think a game needs to be amply difficult for me to play, and if the next person wants it to be easy, I think it should be able to encompass both of our desires.
Yeah.
Is that good?
I can concur with all of that. Just a heads up, ladies. Apparently, Dave Dunzara is in the room. So hello.
Hey, Dave.
Lovely to see you. We actually
Hey,
got to
Dave.
meet him in the flesh. He's taller than anticipated, but I'm shorter than most.
She's
so
just short.
I'm just fucking short.
Okay, who sits on more pillows, you or Pixie?
That's a good question. I think it actually might be Pixers. I don't know. I'm just on my chair, so she's pillowing.
Yeah, I'm
I
pillowing.
need a donut.
I'm most definitely pillowing.
We
are
learned
totally
this last
pillowing.
week.
That's a new thing. So let's get to. I think it's good that we let out some healthy rage. And I kind of wanted to bring up this topic because Facebook has been pissing me off. So I
Yes,
kind of want to
it
go around and
has.
we're going to talk about what things on Facebook irritate us the most, have a little rage fest, and how tall is Bonks? I'm 5'4". So let's have a little rage fest. And I'm going to start with Miss Nikki. What is it about Facebook that just makes you want to throw your computer out the window?
Reading something my kid did that I didn't want to know.
That's a good one.
Oh, gee. I was drunk at prom last night. I'm like,
Oh.
okay.
That's right, because she's graduated.
Oh,
She hasn't
great.
figured out her
yeah.
setting. Work
No,
on
but
that.
I you know what I hate about Facebook and why I don't, you have to use it in order to
Yes.
have a YouTube channel. It is
Oh,
it.
yeah. There you go.
And you
Good
have
one.
to use it to be in gaming because people use it, right? But in reality, it's fucked. I mean, it's like the new MySpace to me.
I'm glad I'm not
I
doing shots
can't-
tonight.
I can't take all the people from your past that find you, or people that just decide to air everything out or put up pictures of their whatever, their big toe with a big black and blue mark on it.
Yeah,
like-
what?
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's like, I've been embracing Twitter a lot more because there's some tweets out there that just make me laugh hysterically, like Will Wheaton. I've been following.
Yeah, Will
him.
Wheaton's pretty
Yeah,
good. I
Yeah,
follow him.
yeah. So I mean that's mine. I've aired mine.
Yeah. All right. Pixie, what drives you mental?
The fact that I was actually forced to make one.
Yes.
I thought I was gonna be one of those last holdouts that was like, fuck this, I don't want a Facebook. I would rather kill myself than have a Facebook and give everyone in the world all of this information on me so that they can show up at my door at 4:00 in the morning with pizza and beer. Which, I mean, showing up at my house with pizza and beer is awesome, but, I don't want somebody random to do that, and it just
No.
annoys me that people don't think about that when it comes to
and
this.
it could be a hair pie.
Foursquare.
You don't know what they put on that. They might want their things inside you. That's fucked up.
Whoa.
I throw it in the trash. Yeah, I went there. Think about that.
Only Bonks would go there, man.
I just ruined
things-
food for
There are
everybody.
things inside you,
Oh,
like
wow.
the toy
Well,
soldiers
I'm
and the
thinking
little
of
fire
Meg and
engines.
Family Guy, and she made Brian eat the
Oh my
pie,
God.
and
Oh.
it was awful.
Yes. No, what's going to happen is they're going to bring Warhammer 40K figurines and be like, here.
Here, play
Well, they
with
could
me.
give them to Jolly because I think
I want these inside you. And then
Oh,
they're
that's
like,
God.
no, thank
that's
you.
awful. Hollyanne, what is your Facebook pet peeve?
I'll stick to the personal side instead of my fan page because we could be here all night if I go into the gaming side. So personally, I really can't stand when people just complain and say, this is such a terrible day. My tire blew out, my blah. They use it as a rant fest. And it's different to say please support me at this time. Good vibes, prayers. That's different. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people every single second, their status is just complaining. I really can't handle that. Second thing I cannot handle, which is more personal, but when my husband and I started dating as boyfriend and girlfriend, he used to like and comment on everything. And you don't think about how important these likes and comments are. He likes and comments nothing now. And I honestly get offended. And that's what I hate about Facebook is that it causes me to feel these things. And I'm like, what are you doing to me?
So
Why do
it
I have these
marriage-
emotions? But I do. So that's my personal opinion.
All right, Carmen, what you got?
Oh man, you know, I have Facebook for purely business reasons. I don't enjoy it. I don't care for people who get overzealous with their religious beliefs and feel they need to post anything and everything up there. And I really don't care what you had for lunch. I don't give a shit. Okay? I love food. Don't get me wrong. Was a chef for many years, but I don't want to see everything you're eating. It does not make me happy.
Well, if we don't see it going in, we might see it going out because people are very proud of themselves. So
you are in rare form today.
I know.
What am I doing right now? I am sitting on the toilet.
Yeah, right?
Like,
Nobody needs to know that.
it's ridiculous.
You know,
It's ridiculous. And I do not let my child have Facebook. I don't care if she's 18 and still in this house. She's not having Facebook.
no, kids should not have Facebook. I've
I
seen
concur.
too many Facebook wars with my daughter's friends when she was 9 years old. Facebook for kids is no good.
Holly, I'll have to say on the flip side of that, I tried to get my husband to have a Facebook account because I thought it would be fun and I could message him when he's at work, blah, blah, blah. Well, that lasted for all of 2.3 seconds and he was not having any of that. So I have the opposite where I have nothing and it's fine. I love it. He doesn't have to look at my stuff because he never answered me. I would tweet something, you know, have a little moment and be like, oh, you were so cute this morning. Nothing. So it's all right. It's gone. He just deleted it.
Hey, you're not on anyways, so why do you have one?
Right.
I feel like the thing that drives me insanely mental is number one, I'm like highly allergic to sentiment, and
You're from
just-
Chicago.
She
Come
needs
on.
vibes.
Yeah.
It needs
I
EpiPen.
can't. I just get so like you know. Oh, I feel so blessed, and I have all these wonderful people, and I'm just gonna shit happiness all over. I'm just like, I can't. And then the second thing, and I got three, but the second thing that drives me a little fucking batty is everyone's gonna be Tony Robbins now on fucking Facebook, right? They all got, you know, inspirational messages. Now, obviously, Skeletor's love is my one exception because if I'm gonna get like cheesy, sentimental affirmations, I want them with Skeletor in the picture. I can't do like a fucking rainbow or a pond or fucking Zen garden. I don't want it. Ugh. Like, I know these fucking people. I know you. Like, you forget, I know you. I know that you keep your toothbrush in a drawer, and I can't handle it. I can't take fucking advice from you. You're fucking weird. I've seen you puke. I've seen you make terrible life decisions. Stop giving me fucking advice on Facebook. I can't fucking do it. I can't do it.
She
And
can't
number
do
three-
it, people.
Is the douchebag that I become on Facebook. I was such a douchebag today. It was like, what? 11 a.m. on a Friday, right? Everyone's still fucking work. What is my ass doing? I'm like, oh, I'm heading out to the office, aka the beach, aka I'm a douche, and let everyone know what a bum I am. Like, yeah, baller. Fuck your day. Like, look what a douche I've become.
Screw you, Bonks.
It's awful. Yeah,
See, it's
fuck me.
Facebook.
It's ridiculous. So yeah, I fucking, and yeah, the fact that I have to have one is just kind of,
Yeah.
So, well, that was fun. I feel
You
better.
feel better now?
But you know what
I feel
nobody
so much
said
better.
that got me a little bit weary?
What?
Nobody said anything about the people that actually get pissed off at you that you didn't answer or comment on a Facebook post that your ass never saw because you work.
Oh, people
You know
stop
what I mean?
thinking about that.
It's like because you have a life and you're not looking
Facebook
at
hater?
Facebook.
No, people
yeah.
ask me, but see, people know me better. They know. If you come at me
Yeah,
with
that's
that,
true.
I'm going to give you the face of go fuck yourself.
I
Are you
left that
kidding
Not
me?
even
for one of
that.
you
You'll
guys.
unfriend them, and that's all she wrote.
I just like,
Okay, I
Yeah.
forgot a good one too. That I'm
Okay.
sure we can all relate
yeah.
some level. When you post something and someone comments on it that you forgot they were even your friend. They've never said anything to you. They've never, and then they're commenting with this ass comment. Like, well, you're a bitch and you're da-da-da. And I'm like, we're friends? When have we been friends? That I can't handle. If I see someone commenting on something like that and they're just going off on me and I didn't even know they were my friend, I delete it right away. Like, I don't have time for that.
What
It's
about
ridiculous.
those random friend requests that you don't even know where these people fucking
From
come
India. From India.
I'm like,
I have like
the
5
heck?
from India a day.
I'm like, I
I'm
don't know you.
pasty. Am I that popular in India?
You're so
They don't speak.
popular.
There's no English on their page. You go to their page and there's no English. You're like, what the hell? I don't know you.
Oh shit! And I mean, I'm really tired of selfies. How many pictures do we need of ourselves? Because I
have
sorry,
a lot.
We have a lot of fucking pictures of ourselves apparently, or we'll die. And it's like I've removed so many people for excessive selfieism, and it's not like they're bad people. I just think they're terrible via internet.
We need a public service announcement. Okay,
It's just gonna get stuck like this.
Okay.
You're gonna be upset when that
public
happens.
service announcement. You don't take a selfie in the mirror. It's not cute. It's not.
I don't dig that.
No more Danny Trejo. No selfies in the miror.
I don't tell Danny Trejo what to do except for stay the fuck out of my dreams. That's the last thing I'm going to say to Danny Trejo. All right, so let's move on to something else. Let's move on to a fun topic. Hot topic number 3. Are you guys ready? I don't think you are. So just because most of us have been watching Silicon Valley and we adore it, it does bring up some awesome issues of when the startup culture, as I call it, because it is kind of a culture, it's like a thing, has collided with geek culture. So it's like, you have those startup friends. Oh, I'm doing this. And then they start saying shit like VCs and, and like my strategy plans and yuck. And after a while, I personally kind of would either wish them success or failure, just one or the other. Fuck it. Come on. But business doesn't work that way. But I'm just curious. I'm gonna start with Miss Hollyanne because you're you're popular. You're prom queen. I bet you know some startup peeps. And just curious, how have you run into the startup culture, and does it irritate the shit out of you, or are you trying to be supportive of it? What's your deal with that?
My overall motto is to try and be friendly to all. I know I don't succeed at that all the time because deep inside I am a rager. But I really try to just be friendly to all. I try and stay, I know it sounds weird, like I try and immerse myself in a lot of the stuff that like I'm kind of doing, but I kind of try and not immerse myself too much in too many things, because then I just feel like it's a little overwhelming. And I'm I'm always super busy person. So it's not something I really involve myself in a ton. But my friend started a company, and there's like an app, and it's like they say all these words, like kind of like you were saying on his Facebook. I don't even understand what he's saying, but I played CounterStrike with him when I was 13. He was on my CounterStrike team, and I'm like, dude, you're legit. You have a company. You have an app. You didn't even go to college. Good for you, bro. So I mean, props.
You're so nice.
Entrepreneur.
Yeah. That's freaking awesome.
All right, Miss Shrivasta, what's your deal?
I don't even have words. I really don't. Because it's so
all the
much
time
out there. Yes. There's so much out there that when you're legit, you see so much going on that you want to comment on everything, but you can't say anything nice, so you don't say anything at all. That's the boat I'm in. Because I don't want to. I'll go overboard. I'm like Bonks. Once you get me started, oh hell, I'll take my earrings off and my shoes, and I'm. It's on. Box cutter out the bra. I can't. You guys, I can't. Pass.
Just can't. Nikki?
Oh God, this comes up so... I don't even know what to say. I get calls from people that, who I work for. So everybody comes to me for advice. I get calls out of the blue that it's somebody that I worked with or somebody I sold something to years ago that just start bouncing things off me. And because who I work for, they think I'm going to be able to come up with, no. I don't even, I nod. I smile and wave. I nod. It's like the bobblehead nod. I don't know, because there's so many people that I look at, and I'd say 1 out of 100 people that come to me actually are something years later. One of them is a great friend of mine now, but no, I try to walk far away from them, far, far, far away, hoping they're not like the guys from.
When people try to talk to me about it and they get their jargon on, and and I get it, I do want to be supportive. There's things, but it's just like after a certain point, there's certain people where they've been at it for way too fucking long, and you're gonna treat it with, because if I say something, I'm just gonna be a dick. I'm not the friend. I try staring at them blankly to see if they'll change the subject, but because they're such passionate go-getters, they don't And then, yeah, I'm kind of with Nikki. I try to avoid it because, you know, if you don't have anything nice to say to startup people, they cry.
Well, I've got a lot of bad memories of people that did that. You know, cops coming into a room and finding out that his startup was selling cocaine. You know, it's like weird stuff. I just don't listen to people anymore.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just it's a tangled mess. And you know, I think a lot of times, and I say this to startup people because I know them everywhere, I know my friends and everyone here is watching. Just remind your friends, dude, take a break from whatever the it thing that you're doing and remember that there's an outside world.
What?
And remember yeah, and remember to also look at yourself. And if you could watch yourself on camera and the shit you're doing and saying, you might change it just a wee bit. You know, that's my best advice for dealing with it. Because again, I'm evil, so I would just be so mean. But I do want people to be successful. But it's like, you know, everybody has a fucking startup right now. It's like, man. So it's a bit much. So what we're going to do, Meow, I believe Carmen has some fascinating made with code news, which is a cool thing that I would love for Shrivasta to talk about. So,
yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen this or you've been living under a rock. I mean, everybody is coming out of the woodwork and trying to do something for the kids or the ladies or the young generations coming up behind us. And Google has now jumped on the bandwagon and they've invested $50 million. Say it with me, ladies. $50 million with a program that they're calling Made with Code. Now, this program is supposed to be, and when I say supposed to be, I'm using the air quotes, aimed at getting young women excited about learning to code and close the gender gap on the tech industry. They're going to offer websites with resources and projects and mentors and things to do. And while they're all jumping on the bandwagon and out there, like with Time Warner, they have some kind of a thingy that they're doing. I find this all fascinating, and I'm very excited to see that they're trying to do something, but I don't think this solves the problem of what we're dealing with now immediately, as we all know sitting here, and some of you in the audience realize what's going on in our industry today and how we're treated in the gaming community as females, and how we're perceived. Some of those trolls are putting my point in the chat right now.
I know. Yeah, definitely. Said swamp. I say wood chipper. Just bzz, Fargo style. Let's just do that. Fargo. I mean, instant gratification. That's what I'm about.
Holly, how do you feel about programs like this? Do they make you excited, warm your cockles of your heart, or not?
Do I say the answer I want to say? Do I
yes,
say the answer
we are honest here.
I don't really dig it personally. I just think people should just want to do what they want to do and just kind of let it roll. People are going to perceive things how they want to perceive them. And I think a lot of, personally, this is my personal opinion, a lot of the bad image of women in the industry a lot of the times comes from women in the industry. So that means that these programs, that these things, they may help and they may do killer things, but that doesn't fix the underlying issue. And I think that underlying issue, the way for that to be solved is for women to really come together and be like, hey, acting this way, doing these things, saying these things, that's not cool. Let's just be gamers. Let's just unify under these games. Let's talk about these games. Let's be about the games. So that's kind of my stance.
Indeed.
Well,
Go ahead, Nikki.
No, well, I don't disagree with her at all, but I see the other end of it, which is, yeah, it can just be about that, but because these other people exist, you need programs like this to break that wall. And until that wall's broken, what was it? Was this the one where we were talking to the guy and they talked about how few women are actually getting into IT now and coding in England. So there is this, piece where until you can make it equal for everybody, until, those people that block it, I know what I want to say. It's just difficult. It's like there's always a barrier. You can say that it should be the same for everybody and it shouldn't matter, but it's going to, because there's a lot more people out there that make it that put up walls to you than there are that open doors right now. You know what I mean? They still look
Yes.
at it. Yeah.
The same can be said about race or, we already talking about gender,
Well,
but there's lots of other things. People that have a legitimate handicap, there's always some kind of barrier. And Holly's got a great point that
yeah,
if
she
we
does.
don't come together and as women, and we can speak as women in this format because we do it as a roundtable, and that's why we created the brand. We need to come together and show how we can work together. We agree to disagree on this show. There's times where we are back and forth, but we're doing it in a manner that is respectful towards each other because we're all intelligent. We don't rip each other down, and you don't see us bombing each other on social media. I think that's very important.
Yeah.
For each of us to respect each other in our own right. We all come from various different formats of gaming, and I have so much respect for Bonks with that damn controller. I couldn't tell you. And Pixie's playing MOBAs. I suck ass at MOBAs. I can't even know. It's bad. And Nikki, one day I might be able to fly the stupid ship in Star Citizen with your support, but Holly and I, we've bonded. We play the PC game, so we're good over here. But Pixie, how do you feel?
So I think it's a combination of a lot of things. So I'm about to get really like motivational speakery, and I so apologize.
I won't judge.
It. But like, you have to be the change that you want to see. So like, it's not necessarily about the mindset of gamers in general. It's not necessarily about the mindset of like male or female gamers. It's about the entire gaming community coming together and putting their feet down. Because there's a way and a way not to do things. And I'm of the opinion that a lot of times when you create programs like this, you actually you're trying to level the playing field and make things more equal, but in a lot of ways you're actually providing a higher sense of inequality. And that's not something that I like. I want to be treated as a gamer. I don't want to be treated as a female gamer or a male gamer. Like, my sex has nothing to do with it. I'm a gamer. Like, I am good at Infinite Crisis. Respect me for that. Don't respect me for, the fact that, like, I have boobs, or the fact that, like, I'm a man and we can, like, hang out and bro fist it. That has nothing to do with this. And so it's the same thing with coding. Like, you're either good at coding or you're not. Sex has nothing to do with it. So why do we feel the need to
sex it up,
have people address this and add sex into it like it's a factor?
Well, now I have to interject, because there is a little thing out there that Bonks and I read about where if you want to go be taught how to code, the girls will take their clothes off. Remember that, Bonks?
Oh, I forget what the name of it was. I'm pretty sure it died already. But yes, there was they called it Pavlov's dog on crack, which I said, to which my husband, who was rightfully offended, was like, I'm not a fucking dog. If I want to learn how to code, I will. I don't need tits.
And their tagline was, how much do we take off? As much as it takes to get you to learn. There was an actual place that you could go and learn how to code, and these models or whatever they were there to teach you how to code, and they would take their clothes off as an incentive for you to pay attention in class. So, you're right, Pixie. You have to model yourself after what you want as change. And these types of places do not help us out at all in the slightest.
Yeah,
now,
they're just not helping.
Maybe they're educated, maybe they're not, but really, you're not doing me any favors, young ladies.
No, yeah, it's not helping. But, see, Peso's been learning how to code in school, which is a great place to learn how to code. It's totally fine. There's also programs that do not involve breastises. And I don't think you require exposed mammary glands to learn how to code. So with that being said, I'm going to kick it over to Nikki, who is going to talk about some YouTube business that I will let her get to.
Yeah, I had a viewer a couple of weeks ago ask me, I'm trying to start up a channel. I want to go with a network. What network should I go with? And I totally forgot I was with a network at all at that point, because I joined one of the YouTube networks and obviously got absolutely no help, and they take 40% of my cut, and we're going to leave the name of the network out of it because I think that it might still be my fault. I don't know. But I looked at it and I was like, well, what exactly is it like? And when I started looking into it, I started getting into thousands of threads of people saying the same thing. So I look at it like, here's a bunch of gamers that are trying to put their stuff out there. You have people from all sorts of MMOs and MOBAs, and even just let's play through whatever the latest PS4 game is. Now that you could throw it into Twitch or YouTube right from the device, and they're all looking to make a revenue stream from it. And I'm looking at myself doing my weekly show for a year now and not even netting $100 and going, well, I wonder what the best way to do this is if somebody really wants to get into it. Because obviously I've got a full-time job and I do it for fun, not for the money. And I happened upon this website through an email I got from one of Cloud Imperium Games' old employees, Mike Moreland, who actually directed or produced Wingman's Hangar for them while Eric Wingman Peterson was still doing it. And the website is called Patreon or Patreon.
We're familiar with that.
Yeah.
We have one.
I started looking into it and going, well, if you spent as much effort trying to pimp your show in YouTube, which this just connects to YouTube, as you could here, what would the net difference be? And I think the net difference would be there's a lot of people that would be willing to pay 50 cents, $1, $2, $3 a month or an episode for you to do what you're doing, because they're dying for content when they're sitting in the office, on the bus, on the train, or, going between classes in college to see, all right, who's playing IC, who's playing, my game, Star Citizen, who's in World of Warcraft raiding right now. And the old way of making it with the ads and waiting for ads to generate or going with a network is actually pretty I'm seeing a lot of issues with it at this point, because if you do get with a network, they're taking 40% of the cut for no work, so maybe this is a way for somebody to start off early. What's going on?
Yeah, we are okay. So we're okay. So let me just
talking.
put it out there. The trolls are real tonight.
Yeah.
And let me put it to you fuckers like this.
What did I say?
You really have no power here. It's amusing.
We're just
You are
laughing at
cat
you.
toys to us. I
Really
cannot stress
laughing.
this enough. You are so insignificant, okay? Like, we cannot... The amount of fucks are merely entertainment, okay? You are A, boring, B, getting blocked like a motherfucker, because this is a heavy modded channel. You have no power. You are nothing. We are Bane. You are the dude whose neck he snaps. Like, you're not in this in the way you think you are.
You guys
Expending this
you guys
energy
just
is
give us
sick.
more juice here. I'm going to tell you right now that,
Go.
Nikki, if you think that that's the case with Patreon, that people are willing to pay 50 cents, $1, whatever the case may be, for more content, I'm just about to, bam, put it in chat, because we've had a Patreon for 3 months, and I don't see anybody but Jericho over there putting in a little bit of money each month to support us and making the stream better and to help us out, because it does cost a lot of money to produce and have these types of shows.
It costs a lot of time.
And
Money,
time, right.
time.
And I have to say that
Time
you
is
work
money.
a full-time job, I work a full-time job, Pixie has a full-time job, Becca has a full-time job, and Holly is working. So we all have family and things to do. This stuff is because we love you guys and we want to have a good time and we want to be able to enjoy the community and give back. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, if you feel like you like the content and you want to see more, you could click the link, $1.50. Don't go get that cup of coffee, whatever you want to do. Also, follow, retweet, share. Damn, it's not that hard.
Right. I'm trying to have a contest now on my channel to give away almost a $200 ship for Star Citizen, and
It's 200.
that
was a 3. I'm retarded. What?
Yeah, and I am amazed with the number of people that are participating, but how few people actually are coming to see that episode as opposed to one that I'm not giving away anything on. So
I have
it's
to
kind
say,
of weird.
we have lots of prizes. We have big
We have
prizes
so much
to give
swag.
away.
It's
We
not
have
we
so
do.
much stuff that my husband said to
Almost
start sending
unfunny.
it to Bonks' house. because
Yeah,
it's not coming here anymore, right?
Yeah,
So
we just need everybody that's viewing us now to bring somebody new with them next week. That's it. So once we get to a certain number, you're going to give stuff away, right?
correct.
Yeah.
Correct. That's how it works.
We've got a big
So-
list too. When I looked at the list, there's a lot of good stuff on there.
Oh yeah, it's a fat old list of goody gumdrops. I'm all about it. All right,
All right, what's
Pixers.
next?
What you got, girl?
So there have been multiple high schools that have started instituting eSports teams. This is not new. This has been going on a very long time. We recently talked about a school in China setting up for League of Legends in specific. Like, is eSports not just for nerds anymore? That's the real question. Like, are nerds actually becoming cool? Is it coming into mainstream and people realize that we don't live in our mother's basements and eat pizza rolls all the time and do nothing? But, like, are people really understanding that we're people who happen to like to play video games? And that it's something that is real, it is fun, it is interesting, and that it can actually turn into a career.
I think we've been mainstreaming for a while, and there's been sort of a, and I mean that's part of I think what's come with the the increase in female demos too. But yeah, with the esports becoming taken more seriously, because there's been like that trolley backlash. No, don't put the light on us. But yeah, I think we've been streaming for a while, especially with esports. I think it's really hitting its climax. It's very, very interesting. I don't know. I wish I kind of had that in my high school,
awesome.
but yeah.
There's a thing that's going on where everything, like Nikki said, everything comes back around. Leg warmers, we've seen those bad boys come back around. Jelly bracelets, all
Carmen
that stuff comes
them.
back around. And ooh yeah, baby. It's very hard to decipher what's going to be popular or what's going to fall flat. I have to say that in my household, what I'm doing and why I'm doing it and why I created the brand does not sit well with my mother. She is another generation and she is not happy at all. She says gaming is for kids. It's not for grown-ups. It's not a living. There's no way you're going to make money. You're never going to support your family. All those things that you hear from people that are very negative. Yet when I hit the newspaper or when I have accolades about what we're doing for charity, she's the first person to spread that shit around like it's free. She's buying extra copies and that's my kid. But yet if I want to go out and buy my daughter a video game, she gets very upset because how dare I encourage her as a girl to play a game? It's such a backwards thing. I mean, does anybody else go through that with family where you guys are all gamers and do you feel like you have to be closeted or do you feel like you are going to be loud and proud about it? Mine is Becca because I've met her family and they could give a shit less what I
can't talk to them about gaming, but they know I do it.
Well, you've been raised in a comic book household, so that kind of gives you a little leeway.
I get a little leeway.
Loud and proud gaming.
Holly, how about you?
I mean, when I was pro gaming, I was made fun of in school for it. It was not a cool thing. It was not a cool thing to be a gamer. It was not a cool thing that I was going to LANs. That's the thing that bothers me about it today. It's like, if you're a girl that says you play video games, regardless if you play them or not, you're like the coolest thing since sliced bread. That really pisses me off because half the time they're not a gamer. Yeah, and the other thing that pisses me off is like, this was like my thing. This was like what I was doing. I mean, I did my lunch ate my lunch, did my homework in the library so that I could come home straight from school and game till 5 a.m, wake up at 6:30 for the bus. I mean, that's what I did. And I was made fun of for it. I was a loser because of it. And now all those same people are hitting me up on Facebook, which we were talking about earlier, and trying to be my friend and say, wow, this is so cool you're doing this. And so, I mean, as far as it becoming a sport, and what I think about that, I mean, I personally would prefer for gaming just to be gaming. I think a lot of this stuff can be a good thing, but in a way it can also ruin what makes the gaming culture so great. I mean, the gaming culture, a lot like music, is just going in a different direction. And it's kind of hard to see exactly where it's going. Parts of it are exciting to me. Other parts of it worry me.
Yeah.
That's legit. I mean, and to your point, I can understand, you know, especially from the past you come from where it's like, you know, now girls are pretty much a cool thing, regardless. And while I can see the frustration in it for sure, it's for our purposes right now for the female demographic, I'm not as mad at it as, you know, as I think some people are. But I do think that there are some concerns I have with pro gaming. Health concerns and just, you know, there's already like corruption involved. And you know, and I do see a lot of hyper aggro, hyper masculine behavior. I've been to MLG events, and while a lot of those gamers are great people, there's a lot of hyper masculine activity going on there, and and the more exposure they get without kind of being housebroken, not to put it in the meanest way possible, but you know, they just now, because they speak for all of us now, unfortunately. That's how people are going to view us, you know, in the sport arena. And, you know, I don't want MLG or any pro gaming to become fucking FIFA. You know what I mean? Like, and just to have that issue
No
of,
biting.
you know, what?
No biting.
Yeah, no biting.
It's not going to happen.
That is hysterical. No
That was
biting.
good.
This is the wiliest chat.
I know, right?
I'm
Pixie,
somewhat impressed.
They're amazing.
Let's hear from you, Pixie.
So, like, esports is in its infancy, and I think things like this are going to push it to develop. And when something is developing, there are always incredibly large problems with it.
Yeah.
It's just a fact. Like, you have to work the kinks out before you really get anywhere and anywhere good. And so I think that this helps force esports not only to progress as a whole, but it also forces gaming culture to progress and to push for the progression of esports. Because it is showing that there's the possibility for it to become something. And yes, esports is very male dominated. It is. There's a lot of my dick is bigger than yours.
Yeah,
that is what it is. And ultimately, because we're all competitive and we're all gamers, it's going to be like that. We all want to win. That's just how it is. But it's a matter of how we represent our desire to win that matters.
Yeah, I concur with that completely. That's a great way to put it.
Okay. I'm just thinking about, is this, I mean, from the day that Fatality won the Ferrari, right? When in the QuakeCon, the original one, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's a long time ago now, right? That's 10, 15 years ago. So, I mean, esports has been around a long time. Are we talking about esports becoming something that's actually being accepted now, and you know that these high schools are having it, or are we talking about the, you know, females, male, it doesn't matter? I got lost there for a second.
We're kind of talking about the overall acceptance of esports. It is now a professional sport. It has
people can get visas with it, like athlete visas.
I find it incredibly awesome that this is happening, because when you're talking about this and you're talking about high schools, right? There's a sports team here. I don't know what the name is, but when they have the overnights where they have Call of Duty or Battlefield, there's a 36-year-old mom online first every single year that Call of Duty comes out, and she's on an esports team. I think it's amazing.
That's
know,
awesome.
so I think that it's already had its legitimacy. I just think it needs, now it's growing in, you know, popularity
needs to happen, and this is why we have
equality.
That's why esports is still in its infancy, because.
Am I really an infant though? I mean, I was esporting at 12. I'm 24.
That's what I mean.
Now.
It's not infancy.
I don't feel like it's in its infancy. I think people are starting to think it's cool.
Right, I think there's
cool.
so much more that can be done with it.
There's more that can be done, but I don't think it's all good things, if you want my honest opinion. I do not think it's all good things. I think a lot of it's really bad things. That's going to ruin gaming for a lot of people that have been in it for a long time. 14-year-olds and 13-year-olds that are running and gunning on Call of Duty might love it, but you're going to leave out a whole slew of people that have been gaming for decades.
Wait, can I just ask just kind of be more specific, how, I mean, you know, like, how are you, just to be more specific to the audience, how are people going to be left out?
Well, for example, the new CounterStrike, I think it's a load of shit. And the reason I think that is because the community has been changed into something that it never was. You know, I started playing the game in 1.5, which was not beta, but, you know, close to it. Played the game for 10 years. They tried to transform the game into a way to make more money, a way to bring more people, a way to, and it really left out everyone who actually gave half a shit about the game and more focused on, well, we want to make this profitable and we want to make this something that people can compete in again. And we want to make it this, this, and this. And I understand the company's doing that because it's about money, and I get that. But I mean, it's just, it's different for people that have fallen in love with certain games and certain aspects of things. And the community overall, for me, in various games, just feels so different. Like, it's not what it was. I mean, this is not just in Counter-Strike, it's just across the board. And a part of me is like, I see where this is going, I see it. The other part of me is like, I just want it to be different. Like, I feel like
I think there's no going back. It is evolving, but I think we're in a very hyper changing, one of those like ugly X-Men evolutionary moments. And I mean, a lot of things are happening quickly, but I mean, it's interesting because I mean, you have whole gaming generations who have been, you know, born while esports, was a thing. So what you're getting now is kind of the new generation, and I can definitely see changes. And, you know, it's I think it's almost two different gaming generations colliding with the fact that there are more women. So there's a lot of what I actually think is just really pure politics at the center of it, bumping into each other. And we all have to kind of, and I feel like that conflict and all that kind of, you know, personality clash has to settle. And then I think things can be a little bit more mellow. So, but I'm just going to kind of move on here. It was an awesome discussion, but I'm just going to, just for the time's sake, I'm going to move on to what I was going to talk about, which was Swordsman, because I had so much fun at E3 with Gabe Hyland and Swordsman. They gave us some fabulous codes. And Ian, if you could be a peach, there it is. Right there in the chat there, we have the link to my article about Perfect World and what they did with Swordsman. The game is based off of famed Chinese novelist Louis Cha.
I downloaded it today.
Oh, did you? So
Yep.
It's a completely, it's a martial arts MMORPG, just crazy, awesome scenery is the first thing I noticed when I did the demo at E3. It was just so fucking pretty.
It's gorgeous.
It is absolutely gorgeous. And it's all in Mandarin with subtitles. No crappy dubs. They really wanted to keep it very, very martial arts movie. So it's, and the movements, you get like these like double, triple jumps in the air, and then you can do like a dart and do, it's like crouching tiger floating type stuff. It's so awesome. Even if you're not really an MMORPG kind of person, which I am not, I hopped into this and had an awesome time. So yeah, the scenery alone is beautiful. I was really surprised by how easy it was to pick up to. Playability is really good. And the other thing is just character customization alone. You could spend hours, and I do mean hours. It is impressive. And it's, yeah. And the most fabulous news of all for all our fabulous viewers is that we do have codes to give away. So if you go to that article and you leave a comment, the codes I have comes with Fluffy Wuffy, Cottony Sheep. I know it's a lamb, Pixie. It says sheep on the thing. So I'm sticking to sheep. But let me know if you want to win a code. I got 2 codes to give away, so you got to name your Fluffy Wuffy sheep. And then if I like I got two best names, we'll totally win a code. And you guys can get in there and check it out for yourself. It's utterly gorgeous. They really took their time on it. I believe they even told me that they did delay it a little bit just because they just didn't feel it was right yet. Now it came out, and I can tell you I've got my paws on it. It is a lot of fun. I actually derailed the demo several times just from running away from where we were supposed to be. So it was such a good time. And so yeah, I definitely recommend, if you're into that kind of stuff, even if you're not, check it out. Check out the article and just look at it, because it's pretty fucking amazing. So
hey, Bonks, let me talk about the RPG meets MMO kind of vibe that they're doing, because I'm an MMO player and I find this very fascinating that they blended these two. Yeah. And with the RPG format, they've made it so that you can pick your your style of fighting, and you have to go through this training, your school of style of fighting. So you're in that story and that lore as you're learning skills. So it's not only you're just mashing buttons.
Oh, and there is
whatever
an
the case may
all-female
be.
school, and they specialize in like poison, and they're kick-ass. Like Gabe, she specifically told me, she's like, no, these are not. It's not like a lame-ass like, oh, we're a pretty clan. It's like, no, we beat the shit out of people. So
it's pretty awesome, and the fact that you can level up as you're going through, and these combos that they're throwing in there, depending on the style that you're learning, you kind of make your own build, you know, which is awesome. Because as an MMO player, I don't know about you, Holly, but I love the fact that I can break the mold and do something that in my play style.
Yeah,
this is totally out of my comfort zone on every level, like every level. But what I can get with is the character customization, boy. I spent a lot of money on Guild Wars 2, and really all I did was make my character, but I was still happy about it. So, hey, I'm all about character customization. I'm a total...
Usually it's getting there just to make a character, because it is a ball. And you can make those characters, like I've done it on Eve, and it'll freak you out how much you can get it to look like you. So
yeah, it is a little scary.
Oh God, it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely a beautiful game, and I do want to thank Perfect World for giving us those codes. They're such an awesome team this year at E3. They really blew it out of the park for me, so I was excited. So what we're gonna do right now, because we've definitely kind of run a wee bit over, which is fine. We're going to start doing some outros and some shout outs, and I'm going to start with Miss Hollyanne because she's our lovely guest. So do you have any shout outs as we say goodnight?
Shout out to Dave, obviously, and just the whole, everyone that's in here from the film, obviously. Shout out to Ashley because she's my girl and the love of my life. And shout out to Hats because you're freaking beasts.
That's awesome. All right, Nikki.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to a couple of people that are in my viewer channel right now. They're going to remain nameless because they're people that are patrons of mine. You guys know who you are. Also, a shout out to Holly. Thank you for joining us. It's been awesome hearing about all of your life stories in gaming. It gives me hope with two boys that are getting into it now. And shout out to all the wonderful people that joined us tonight. Wow, you really made it exciting and different. It was quite the different night for me trying to keep up reading
Nikki's
all that
initiation.
Wonderful stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I've had trolls before, but you know.
Yeah, they
I've never had to
They're
read
the
so many at
lifeblood of
once.
the interwebs.
I love it. Like I said, controversy, I love it. I live for it.
All right, Pixie, Miss Pillowing.
So, shout out to my amazing pillows for being so supportive of my bum and allowing people to see me on camera. It's really nice of you guys to do that. Shout outs to Jericho, aka Diver. Shout outs to Fuzzletoft, they're both on my IC team. Shout outs to Turbine for doing some amazing things. There's some amazing things coming up in the future, so be on the lookout for that. And shout outs to Dawn Base.
Awesome. All right, Shriv, give us a lowdown.
Oh, shout outs to our wonderful producer, Aegon, back there in the back, waving at the man because he's got it going on. And Jericho, thank you so much for troll slaying this afternoon or this evening, whichever time it is for you. Thank you, Miss Holly, for coming and joining us. We had a fabulous time. And again, Holly will be joining us on our eSports live show in pre-production. If you guys really, really want to see that, then you're going to have to start clicking the likey button because we are about to blow your minds with some things coming in the next few months. We will not be the only show, us ladies. We will have others. And of course, you ladies, Nikki, Pixie, Bonks, shout outs to you.
Awesome. So again, I'll give one last shout out to Perfect World. I also want to give a shout out to Geeks Who Drink and my new quiz audience that is at Gatsby's in Arlington Heights. I'll be back July 1st for the Seinfeld quiz. That was a good time. And shout out to Holly, you're awesome. I'm glad you're on board with us because you're marvelous. And I want to give a shout out to all the trolls because, like I said, you're just the best little cat toys in the world. And shout out to Aegon for doing some serious troll slaying tonight along with Jericho. And shout out to my fabulous hostesses because I think you guys are all pretty awesome. So I think on that note, we're going to go ahead and close it off. Thank you very much for coming and hanging out with us. And we'll see you next Friday.
Dance it out, ladies.
Bye.
Dancing. Come on, Holly. Break it down.
I don't dance in chairs.
It's true dance.
Yeah.
Oh, we had so much fun.
A lot of wonderful things in chat.
It was fucking wily.
I saw one that just didn't